This is not an Onion headline, so here we go. Fox News reports that San Francisco is rolling out a pilot program that will pay high-risk individuals not to shoot anyone as gun crimes tick up in the city. It's the Dream Keeper Fellowship. They'll pay 10 individuals who are high risk of being on either end of a gun $300 a month to not be involved in gun crimes. Participants of the program will be paired with life coaches from the city's street violence intervention program and will serve as community ambassadors. Participants are also eligible to receive an additional $200 a month through ways like working, going back to school, mediating violent situations. Payments are made in the form of gift cards and will be monitored.
We could also encourage dads to raise their fucking kids, and then we could eliminate all this horse shit.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's the third rail of politics. Just can't go there. Can't encourage dads to hang out and raise their kids. So we have to build everything around kids who don't know their dads, who are violent. And then we have to build an entire ecosystem around that. Or we could kind of focus... let's see. I think the great AOC talks about systemic. She wants to get to the root of problems.
Yes.
Systemic.
Yes.
Let's get to the root of the problem. Who are these 15-year-olds that just shoot other 15-year-olds? They're folks who have great relationships with their dad. Their dad's nurturing and present and taking care. I don't, you're never going to fix anything as long as young boys grow up fucking super angry and freaked out. And by the way, kind of they have PTSD. I mean, traumatized. It's insanity. I've been talking about this since Loveline, and it just gets a little bit worse every year. And as far as the politicians go, it's a third rail. Like, we're going to talk about gun buybacks and, and gift cards for people that don't shoot people. I mean, that's great. That's called fucking window dressing. We should really be figuring out why 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds would like to shoot other people in other gangs or themselves or bystanders. Or there's a big question, why are they in a gang?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah,
okay, dads and politicians who do not want to discuss dads. I mean, ugh.
Well, it's funny too, because with all the Texas news in the news, we talk about, like if abortion, you can be sued for, helping perform an abortion, for getting abortion, whatever, after 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I brought up the other day, well, why don't we just mandate vasectomies and they can be reversed when the guy is mature enough? Or if we really want the long arm of the law involved, fine, do that, Texas. But any boy, man, whoever he is who doesn't stick around to help that woman during her pregnancy or raise that child, maybe he goes to prison. Maybe he's fined until he goes into debt. What about the guy?
I'm totally with you. I mean, prisons are filled enough to capacity these days. But
I'm just making a point.
Look. Let me explain what keeps everything. Look, you can talk about cops, but are there enough cops? Like I've always said this, counselors and cops. There's enough counselors for a school. Like you take a high school, it's a good size high school, 2,500 students. There's 7 counselors, and that's enough for 44 problem kids. But what if the entire school had a problem? You know what I mean? I mean, we've all learned in recent months that if the populace at large wants to hit the streets and go out and fucking burn down a Payless shoe store, the cops basically just got to stand and watch. Because at a certain point, it's a critical mass. So you have X amount of cops, and there's, I don't know what the breakdown is, and it goes from community to community, but, in Los Angeles, there's one cop for every 1,700 citizens or something. Well, if we all decide to burn down a Payless, cops ain't doing jack shit.
Yeah.
And so if we got a whole bunch of fucked up kids and a whole bunch of street gangs and a whole bunch of guns and a whole bunch of people shooting each other, at a certain point, you can reimagine policing. You can have community people for interventions and gift cards and stuff. It's still going to be a shit show. That's how it works. So we got to shrink the group.
Well, to what you're saying, Adam, there's 2 points here. One, talk about guns. We don't talk about machetes enough, and I'll tell you why. And when you talk about if there's enough cops, It actually happened to me a while back. I live in Venice Beach. Definitely not enough cops there. I was riding my bike. I was going to take a ride on the beach. I leave my house. I'm driving down. As I'm coming down the street,
By the way, minding his own business, VR goggles on,
my
cock
bike.
in hand, Nivea between legs,
Lube in the other
just
hand.
going out for
In the basket.
the circle in the block.
So no, I'm riding down.
Taxpayer.
And I see a guy coming.
Now he places the lotion in the basket.
All right, sorry. All right.
So there's a guy on a skateboard. He's got a beard. He looks pretty early 20s, and he's in a skateboard, and he's coming perpendicular to me, and he's staring me down. And I'm like, this is like 10 in the morning. And then I notice that in his hand, he's got like a hatchet, not a machete, a hatchet. He has a hatchet.
Scarier than a machete.
Yeah, he has a hatchet in his hand, and he stops. And so I'm on the bike, and he's just look. So I go by him, and he's staring at me, and he's got the hatchet. So I start serpentine on the bike because I'm like, if he throws this hatchet at me,
Yeah.
So I get a couple blocks away, and I call LAPD, and I tell them the story. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Dude's skateboarding with a hatchet in his hand, and he's staring people down. And she said, at one point, well, she's asking me the address, and I keep telling her it's not an address, it's a corner. He's on the corner at this corner. And she says, was he doing anything strange?
Oh my God.
And I said, you mean besides skateboarding with a hatchet and menacing the residents of the No, other than that, he's a fucking model citizen, right? So she goes, okay, well, we'll send out a unit. So I'm like, all right, I go to the beach, ride my bike. An hour later, the phone rings. And I'm like, oh, this must be something. And it's a police dispatcher. And she says, a different one, but she says, hey, the officers are on scene. What's the address again?
Oh my God.
I said, there is no address. It's a this is an hour later. I go, it's on the corner. And he says, well, is he still there? I said, I don't know. I'm not still there. I go, guess not. Do you know where he might have went? I go, I don't know. Are there any body parts strewn throughout Venice? An hour late. Like imagine like as being in a small town America and saying, hey, a guy just skateboarded by me and stared me down with a machete or with a hatchet in his hand. They'd be there in a second, right? So what do you do in communities like San Francisco and Los Angeles where this is a clear and present danger and it took him an hour?
You give him a gift card.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, look, if they're going to outnumber the cops and they're growing, there's nothing we can do about it.
It's over.
It's over.
Drink more hard
Right.
seltzer.
Amen.
That's right.
Yes, there we go.
Speaking of which, I got a pile of that shit over here if you guys want to refill.
You sure do.
It ended up over here.
We tried a new, what's this new one
I like
we're trying?
this.
We got
This
a new
is
flavor.
A mass jasmine cardamom raspberry. It's really good. Yeah, pass that down.
That's manly.
All right. General Motors has announced that all but a few of its North American plants will be temporarily halted due to a pandemic-related shortage of semiconductor chips, which we talked about before, which is how I almost didn't get my car. So these chips, which are produced overseas, are used in all kinds of things, many different car parts. They're also used in electronics. And with people working from home or attending online school during the past year and a half, demands for these things like laptops and things that these chips go in have created this massive shortage, and that includes cars. Some plants in Texas, Michigan, and Kentucky will continue, but 8 other plants in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, they're all shifting to repairs and shipping.
What company?
GM.
Oh, my
No
lease
word.
is up in 3 months.
Yeah, and no word when they expect to resume full production.
I think we, I know, I think we're relying on some of this stuff out of China.
Yeah.
Really, you think?
I think I would vote for this candidate where it's like, we need to be autonomous. Like, all right, we pulled out of Afghanistan, energy independence, don't want to talk to any OPEC nations, do all the chips here. All right, the chip's going to be X amount more per unit, and that just means your GMC Denali is going to be an extra $17. But we're doing it.
Right.
We're doing it here. We can't get cut off. We can't get exploited. They can't use it. Pardon the pun, as a bargaining chip. They just boom. It's all in house.
Well, we all got greedy, right? Because we got stuff so cheap, and now
Yeah.
we're addicted.
But we have child labor laws, so that's the problem.
Also
no
true.
joke, because
Yeah.
over there they need the little kid hands to do the chip. I'm not joking. That's part of it, isn't it? Like
Science.
Like
their hands are
Snowpiercer.
so small that they can do the chips, and they need to make them tiny so they can put them in the vaccine.
And
Should we go?
that I did not realize.
You're not thinking here.
Do you know how much a
absolutely
set of
right.
those VR goggles would cost if they made them in New York City?
Oh,
Come on.
Dan couldn't afford it.
No, he couldn't afford it.
Where do they make the Oculus? I'm sure it's not here. I'm sure
There's
it's
got to
not
be
the
some
States.
Chinese parts in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into that. I'm not into the Asian porn.
Not your
Like,
thing.
yeah, no. I like.
Okay.
I have weird kinks though.
What? Like what?
But they don't have it. I've said this before. They don't have it in the VR. It's all the same. It's the same positions. It's the there's no story. Like if I go on my laptop, I can find a story.
You were swept away.
It's like I sound like an old person. I got to watch my stories, except I'm jerking off to them. But no, I like a story in the porn, like the old porns. You know,
Oh, like on Golden Blonde. And
Yes.
Kale will work. Yeah.
Yes, like I want to be able to connect with them on a personal level before I.
So you'd have to sit through like an hour and a half old, skin flick in VR, which I think would be.
Well,
actually
Adam would back
pretty
me
tough.
up on this. Like, I bet I could name a classic porno, and you could tell me what actually happens in the plot.
Sex Boat.
Couldn't
All right,
you?
let's
Sex
try
Boat. All right, we know. There it is. Sex Boat. What happens on Sex Boat? I can tell you.
Well,
Two
I have-
guys sneak on the boat. They sneak on the boat.
Well,
right?
hold on. Let's not forget what happened before she went on the boat.
She dumped him.
No, he came home and caught her cheating.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he made her come outside and watch while he banged two chicks by the pool.
Oh.
Because turnabout is fair play.
Yes.
Then she was very upset about the whole thing and took the limo to the boat, and that's when the cruise.
So they keep
that's when the
one-upping
voyage
each other.
What an uptight bitch.
Yeah.
began.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the girls were just sort of working by his pool or something, but he dragged her out to the pool to watch him then have sex on Sex Boat.
Well, a lot of it's vengeance driven. Even in those days, like remember in Taboo.
Sorry that the two guys.
Oh,
had-
does he?
Aaron and Brad, they dressed as women to sneak onto the
Really?
boat because
Listen, buddies.
Wait, there was a. Oh no, I'm thinking of.
it was an all-female cruise.
This is Sex Boat?
Yes, it's
Come on,
Sex Boat.
Gina.
So they dressed as women to get on to the boat, and then once they got on the boat, they bunked with all the women.
They
and
plowed
then, of
their way
course,
from stern to
whenever the women would find out that there was a guy on the boat, it wasn't like the Wee Spa. They jumped right on
Well,
that dog.
was this like a prison boat where they also starve for sex after a weekend?
No,
No, you're thinking of Prison Boat.
Yeah. It was that a female captain, female crew,
Oh, wow.
everyone was on the boat.
Boat sunk on day one.
Yes,
Randy
Interesting.
West. Randy West was one of the guys.
that's
wasn't he?
right. Yeah. The other guy was unknown.
Randy West. But I was just watching Up and Coming the other day. Remember Up and Coming? That was Marilyn Chambers, country music singer. She's up and coming. Lisa DeLue is the established country singer who's having drug problems. She's on the way down.
Yeah.
And there's a rivalry there. 'cause
Shakespearean.
Marilyn Chambers is on her way up.
It's like Star is Born.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, except a lot of dick
1983.
sucking in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Up and Coming, right?
Yeah, Lisa DeLue, Marilyn Chambers, Herschel
told you.
Savage.
Who's in
That name
everything.
gives me the bends.
Come on.
I like Herschel Savage because he looks.
Mojo Savage?
Herschel Savage, I don't know. Can you find? Here's going to be some work here, Max Spada. I worked on the Man Show, and I worked with this guy, big fun guy named Doug DeLuca. You guys have probably met this guy
met Doug.
before, but Doug's a big
personality.
fun, big personality guy. But the 30-year-old Doug looks like the 30-year-old Herschel Savage.
Oh, yeah.
and
I see the
that's-
resemblance.
That's why that's basically why I hired him. No, but I just like it when guys look like
Like
porn.
normal guys. Or they
Yeah,
look
like
like porn
normal-
stars.
It doesn't matter. I just want to know there's a civilian that looks like a porn star.
Most of those guys back then did. Like the guys now, they're intimidating.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's why I do VR porn, because you can't
Right.
see the guy.
Right, but
the
you
guy
want
is
some
me.
plot.
I'm the guy.
Yeah.
A little less twat, a little more plot.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
That's what Dan would
That's
say.
that's my mantra.
All right.
Could I follow Taboo 2 if I haven't seen the first one?
I can sing you the theme.
I'd love that.
Well, because in Taboo 2, so in Taboo 1, what's her name? Big big boobs, British
Oh,
accent.
narrows it down.
What's her name? Yeah, well, who's the mom?
Oh
my
God. I'll think of it.
Kay Parker.
Kay Parker.
Kay
That's what
Parker's
it
the
said.
mom,
Yeah.
and Kay Parker's husband, they have bad sex in the beginning. He leaves her because she won't leave the light on.
Right.
Which is why you would leave your wife. He wants to have sex with the light on. She doesn't want to have sex with the light on. He's like, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm going. And then she's sex starved because the husband left.
Yeah.
And she starts getting horny.
Yeah.
And then she, of course, sees her son having sex with his girlfriend and watches through. The doors are always open. I always
Right.
love that. The doors are so she sees that, gets horny. She goes to an orgy, as you do.
Sure.
But she doesn't want to participate in the orgy
I've
because
been there.
it's gross.
Yeah.
And then she gets home and she's so horned out, she starts thinking about the orgy. And then she just happens to walk by her son's bedroom, doors open, cock out. What are you going to do?
I'm sorry, is this Taboo 1 or 2?
Taboo 1.
Oh,
Is this supposed to be
Yeah.
her
So
biological
in Taboo
son?
2, Paul is the son in Taboo 1. Paul goes away to college.
Junior.
Somehow he got into college. But the brother, who we never saw in Taboo 1, we didn't even know there was
Oh,
a brother.
that's Junior. Sorry.
He shows up
Yeah.
in Taboo 2, and he says, Mom, I can do it even better than Paul. And
Right.
bangs Kay Parker.
Sure, but he bangs his sister too.
And the sister.
And that's why the theme goes, he has it all. Yes, he does. He knows how to please in every detail. He can do more than you ever imagined.
It's my first dance.
Wow. He does it with me. Oh, yes, he does. Hey, Chris. I know that you thought that you knew him. I'm better when I'm on my feet. Well, maybe you did, but you don't.
Mother-son dance.
He can do what? Maybe you did, but you don't. Skip that. What?
This is some weird cut.
Skipping. But you don't. We got to get the rest of the song. We're skipping here.
Yeah, we're on a loop.
We'll fix that.
We'll fix it
If
because there's
she
the
could
whole
be,
rest of the
if
song.
she could be trouble, that was also in the movie. She could be trouble whenever she wants. How the fuck do I know this?
These are real
And
songs.
there was
Yes.
got to get it on.
Oh, gotta get it
You
on.
don't gotta get it on.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, see, this just flipped.
But you
Weird.
don't.
This
Oh, we
has a
gotta finish
soundtrack.
this.
I got to
Oh,
get
yeah.
the soundtrack to Taboo too.
Maybe
Oh
there's
yeah, I got this.
maybe there's a show in there.
Swing by my car on the way.
Adam and
I
Dan,
think I got
Adam and
an
Dan
unopened
rate the
CD.
porn stars. We rate the porn songs.
Yeah, just the songs.
I mean, Gotta Get It On's top 5 all time. Right? Because it's the band orgy. Remember, they go to the band. And by the way, this was back in the day where they would, in Taboo 2, there's a band. They're trying to break the band. And they literally have a scene where the band plays a whole song. And it's the worst song you've ever heard. And they're like, let's just work this in. Maybe the guy that was producing the porn was also managing the band.
he owed a guy a favor.
But then they get done, and then they start fucking, and they put on Gotta Get It On, Gotta Get It On.
Well, Dan, I don't want to burst your bubble, but there wasn't a band in Taboo 2.
Was it Taboo 3 was the
Oh,
band?
that was Taboo 3.
It's a trilogy.
Come on,
Damn
Dan.
it, you're right.
Oh, they're up to like 149.
You're right, it's top. Taboo 3 was the band, and had the girl with the... Never mind. Where's the more? I'm going to get more seltzer. There it is.
Hey, Chris. Pretty good groove here. Get it on, gotta get it on. Get the crowd on their feet, gotta get it on. Someone play the sax in your group?
I can find it.
Can you find someone to play the sax?
Yeah.
Now, what's the message of the song?
See if they can.
What do
this
they
is
want?
subtext. Feels so good.
Get another...
Feels so good.
Here we go.
It's a smooth jam. Gotta get it on, gotta get it on. All right.
Little known fact, and Neil Young wrote that, by the way.
Did not know
Early,
that.
early days, he was scoring porns.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Neil Young. Gotta get it on. Gotta get it on.
He
Then he
was
wrote
just-
Ohio. It's same day he wrote Ohio. He was torn. He was like, this war thing's bothering me, but I gotta get it on.
Wow,
Yeah,
real
the
Jekyll and
needle and the
Hyde.
damage done, and then gotta get it on.
Are we
right.
done here?
Yeah, I think.
I feel like we are.
unless we got the rest of He's Got It All. I mean, if we can find that in its totality, because I feel like
You
I
have
was,
more
just,
in. Yeah.
I was just kind of warming up.
Yeah, I agree.
and
You have
then
more
I
in the
felt
tank.
like I was really going to kick in,
I
kind
agree.
of go next level with it, and then it just kind of cut off. But that's where you're at.
I think we all were left wanting more. Brian,
I know the
Looking for
audience at home probably wants more.
I just can't believe there are real songs,
Oh yeah.
like complete, 2.5-minute songs.
Now, it's back. Remember we talked to the guy who did all the music for Taboo too?
Oh yeah,
Was that before my time?
might have been.
May have been. He
It's the glory days.
said he
how
went to the
dare you.
premiere with his mom.
I would have remembered that for sure.
Do you remember that, Brian?
I forgot that porn premieres.
He went to the premiere with his mom because she wanted to be supportive.
Yeah.
And it's not like he was scoring Gone with the Wind. It's like this is what I
his
got.
chance.
Like this is a premiere.
Wow.
It's in a real movie theater. I did the music, Ma. Like
He was Curtis Stevens' go-to guy.
that's right.
By the way,
Curtis
I don't know if you know
Stevens.
Curtis Stevens.
No.
And then Curtis Stevens did Taboo, and then they would try to bill other movies, and they go, from Curtis Stevens,
Right.
the guy who brought you Taboo 1,
Was
2,
he like-
3, comes. All of his movies were about incest.
Oh.
Every Curtis Stevens movie was incest. There was also the one.
He's not tour.
There was the one with Paul Thomas, and Raven is the daughter. It's something they did about 5 of those too, and that's all incest too. Tom Byron, Taja Ray. Oh my God, I know all the people
Yeah.
that are in these
You do.
movies. What a bad life I'm leading right now. But called American something. It's American something. They did like 3 of them, better than Taboo.
But you say you do have sex with real women sometimes. 5,000 water selections in crazy cans
LaCroix
and
bubbly.
energy drinks
Yeah.
in crazy cans. You as a cop cannot pass by some guy in flip-flops walking down the Strand anymore and screech the brakes on. You have no idea what's in that person's hand.